The Truth with G.
Yeah, you are now tuned into The Truth with G. Inspire, educate, and uplift. If you can't handle the truth, this ain't the show for you. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So sit back, relax, and buckle up and enjoy this ride.
The Truth with G. The Truth with G. The Truth with G.
And your community. I don't know if I think my sound might have been out right there in the beginning, so I apologize. But welcome to the show. Let's repeat some of the things I just said because I don't know how my volume was going on that intro there. But thank you for tuning in. This is The Truth with G on WPMM Internet Radio. Thursday evening. We're on the downslope to the weekend. Hope you had a great week. I had a rough week, but we're not going to talk about that. It's almost over with. We're going to spring on into into the weekend and then a new week, and we're going to have a better week that next week than I had this week. I guarantee you. I'm feeling it already, so we're going to see how that goes. But tonight, we're going to talk about some issues, some very, very important issues. So if you're on Facebook, let's go ahead and share. Because I know some of the stuff I talk about is kind of boring, but it's so very important. It's not gossip. It's not, foolishness. It's not, talking about, who's sleeping with who and who got caught doing this. This is about issues that you should be worried about and you should be concerned about. And that's what we're going to do tonight. No football talk tonight. None of that. We're not taking phone calls tonight as well, but you can drop your comments into the comment section. On Facebook, if you're listening on Facebook. But once again, we are WPMM Online Radio under Changing Rider Media Group LLC. It's the parent company. Well, we play more music. We play the best in R&B, jazz, talk, neo soul, independent hip hop, old school music. You can listen from the website at WPMMradio.com. You can go to TuneIn, iTunes. You can tell Alexa to play it. We are on also Facebook Live. We're on Twitter. I think they pulled us off Twitter. Let me not say Twitter anymore. We're on Twitch as well. And we have an app. You can download the free app and take our shows and our music anywhere that you go via the app. You can go to Google Play Store or the Apple Store and download the app. Once again, it is free. That is the key word. It is free. So make sure you check that out. The views and opinions expressed by individual radio hosts are of their own and does not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WPMM Radio. WPMM does not intend to align with any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, or anyone or anything. All right. So now that we got that out the way. But once again, if you're on Facebook, let's go ahead and share. Go ahead and share if you're on Facebook. Again, we're talking about some topics tonight, and we're going to tell you about the topics here in just a moment. Miss Saber is joining us on Facebook. How you doing tonight, Miss Saber? Good to see you on once again. Loyal listener, I love you. Appreciate you. Hope that you and Mr. Oscar are doing well once again. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Once again, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and share. A couple things I want to talk about tonight. We want to And again, these are important, very, very important issues. And I know most people don't want to hear about it. Most people are not even aware of what's going on around them. But it's so very important to be in tune with what is going on, particularly within your government, whether it be your city government, your local government, state government, and federal government. You need to be aware of what's going on. You're not going to know everything, and I don't know everything, but I try to get as much information to you as I can. And I welcome information from you. It just got to be credible. Make sure it's credible information. Make sure it's accurate. Make sure it's been vetted, because we don't put out rumors and things of that nature on this show. We talk about the actual events and the truth, if you will. So a couple of things that's going down. The government shutdown is looming. We're just a few hours away. We're only a couple of days away from the shutdown. 1st of October is when the government is looking like it's going to shut down. And we have to kick our government officials in the butt and get them on track to do what they need to do to not allow this shutdown. We'll talk about that as well. Also, in the presidential election coming up, we know that we got the orange idiot. Some of you might call him Donald Trump, but we got the orange idiot that is the front runner in the Republican primary right now. He's leading by double digits over the next candidate, which the next candidate is an idiot as well. And that's Ron DeSantis. He is number 2 in the polls in the Republican Party. And both of them are threats to our democracy. But Donald Trump is leading, and he has still legal troubles that is happening every single day. He's getting deeper and deeper. But his popularity amongst the dumbass people on the other side, on the right, is growing. Seems like the more trouble he get in, the more they support him, which we'll talk about those idiots as well. The impeachment inquiry started in the House, and the Ways and Means Committee, I believe it was. It had a hearing in regards to the impeachment inquiry. It's a waste of time and money. We'll talk about that as well. And it's some local things that's going on that we will discuss as well. Still got violence going on in our local community here, and still talk about that as well. I don't have to talk about the Republican debate last night. I did not watch it, and apparently nobody watched it, other than probably some cult members, some Trump cult members. They might have watched it, but nobody was even aware that debate was going on. The little bit that I've seen in regards to the coverage of it, it was a complete shit show, if you will, complete debacle. It was. The Republicans really need to be ashamed of themselves. Also, we still got things going on locally here, like the issue at Pine Forest High School. I'm not sure what's going on at Pine Forest High School. I mean, somebody help me. I wish I had a representative from Pine Forest High School, a teacher or an administrator or something, to come talk to me and kind of let me know what's going on at Pine Forest, because every time I hear something about Pine Forest, it's not good, and that bothers me, because we have too many kids over there that are needing guidance and looking for an education, and all the foolishness that I'm hearing about going on around them. We need to find a solution to cure that. Not saying Pine Forest is the only school that have issues, but I'm hearing about Pine Forest more than I am the other schools. I know there's been some issues at Scammia High School as well. Washington been kind of quiet, or as far as my end, I haven't heard much. But yeah, we got to get some things straight over there and get some order restored, if you will. So, but here's what we're looking at. Once again, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and share. If you're out there listening, hit a thumbs up, hit a heart, hit something. Let me know you're out there, please, and also share. But the October 1st at midnight on Saturday, the 30th is the Saturday. What is it? Saturday morning. The government was shut down if there's not a bipartisan agreement to fund the government. basically to pay the bills that we have already incurred. We're not asking, it's not any additional spending that's taking place. Is to cover the bills that we already incurred. On the history of the government shutdown, and as far as raising the debt ceiling, what have you, it happens on a regular. It happens just about every single year, every single term, and every time they raise it, it happens. Now, even though we had 4 years of the orange idiot, now the Republicans want to blame the Democrats for the shutdown. And here's why this shutdown is so vital to you and to all those around you in this country. If we have a government shutdown, that means that our military personnel won't get paid. That means our border patrol won't get paid. That means Social Security will be affected. Our TSA agents that protect us at our airports won't get paid. The economy in a lot of areas is going to falter because a lot of these people that will be affected, these government workers that are affected, fuel the economy. They contribute to local businesses. They can contribute to the major conglomerates, if you will, and they're spending every day. But if they're not getting a paycheck, the spending is going to stop. So it's going to affect the local state economy. Also, it's going to affect private businesses as well, because without those dollars coming in, things like childcare, people that are working are paying childcare. So if they're not working, they're not going to pay childcare. So that means that daycare facilities are going to either have to close their doors or go out of business, because the kids are going to be pulled out because the parents aren't getting a paycheck to keep them into childcare. Most people, even government workers, are basically living paycheck to paycheck. Paycheck to paycheck, even government workers. Mr. Pugh, how you doing today, Mr. Pugh? Larry Pugh, he put in the comment section, he said food stamps will stop as well. However, with the food stamp program, with the SNAP program, the only positive thing in regards to the food stamp program is that the money for the month of October has already been allocated. So as far as just depending on how long the shutdown lasts, as far as the month of October, funds have already been allocated. So it won't affect those people getting the food assistance early on in the month of October. However, just depending on how long this thing lasts. It definitely had not been funded after the month of October. So that means all your SNAP benefits and food stamps, if you will, can be affected. That also piggybacks on Medicaid. Medicaid is also a benefit that is provided by Department of Children and Families as well. So all that is connected. So Medicaid and your Social Security can be affected. Old people may not get their Social Security. So this government shutdown is very, very serious. We really need to pay attention to what's going on around us. And we are looking at this shutdown because Republicans are assholes. I wish I could find a better. The Border Patrol, they won't be paid as well. At the last shutdown that we had a few years back, our Border Patrol, our TSA agents, they were almost required to work without pay. In fear of losing their job, once the government did come back up, was back up and running, they were forced to work without pay. And just imagine our border patrol and our TSA agents out there working without pay. It's hard to get somebody to do something without paying them, and it's very hard to get somebody to do something right without paying them. So our security, our national security, is at risk. Especially with the crisis that we're having at the border right now, and then with the terrorism issue that goes on, since 9/11. You see, we have planes that have been hijacked and things of that nature. We have these idiots that get aboard these planes and want to act a fool or whatever. But if you don't have TSA agents there to screen these people and make sure they're not going on these planes with items that they should not have, or if you got TSA agents that's standing there working their ass off and they're not getting paid for it, they're not going to care as much. They're not going to try to secure you as much as they would if they're receiving a paycheck. I hate to say that about people, but money motivates people. Most people go to work for money. They don't go to work because they love their job. There's only a few people out there that just simply love their job and will go to work without getting paid. I'm not one of those people. But however, as far as, I'm not telling you what I do, but, as far as my job, I won't be affected by the government shutdown, as far as my job status, if you will. But it's going to hurt in other areas as well. But what the Republicans are basically holding the government hostage because they are making demands that are unrealistic, and they are trying to vote. They're trying to force a vote. My bad, my tongue got tied a little bit there. They're trying to force a vote for Democrats to vote for stupid shit. I was trying to think of another word for it, but they want to include in these appropriations in these bills that they have to vote on to keep the government open. They want to put things in there like to criminalize abortion care providers. In other words, they are trying to prosecute doctors, nurses, anybody that aids in abortions. They are trying to make that a criminal act, and they're trying to put that in the bill in order to force the Democrats to vote for it. And the sad part is all of the Republicans aren't for that. But we only have a few assholes. Well, I ain't gonna say a few. There's a lot of those assholes over there, but there's a few people that's spearheading this effort to shut down the government. They also want to, like I said earlier, they're trying to cut Social Security because they got appropriations in the bill attached to this bill that will cut Social Security. They also looking to cut school funding. We know our public schools are struggling already. The private schools are doing well because they get money from private people who are paying tuition and whatnot for them to go to their schools. But they want to cut funding to education. And if you one of the educators out there, you already know that our education system is in bad shape, and we are already suffering because we don't have enough money to teach these kids the appropriate and the right way. We don't have the tools available, and we don't have the funding. We got a lot of teachers that's coming out of their pockets to make sure that their classrooms have the necessary tools, if you will, and the supplies to try to teach these kids. But especially in the state of Florida, they're not paying these teachers much, and they're coming out their own pockets trying to fund their classrooms, and it's difficult. But they want to cut funding. This is the Republicans, particularly in the House. They also want to defund the FBI. They are trying to force the criminal investigation against Donald Trump to end by defunding the FBI's prosecution, the funds that they're using to pursue the criminal charges and the trial for the orange idiot. They're trying to put that in a bill and make that a stipulation that the Democrats have to vote for in order to keep the government open. And we know that Trump is one of the biggest crooks that ever walked the face of the earth. but we got a lot of dumbass people that still support them. And I wish I understood, but I promise you I don't. So but with this shutdown, it's gonna affect a lot. And again, the Republicans are trying to attach all this stupid stuff to these bills to keep the government open, but the Democrats cannot give in to that type of stuff. You know, we don't need the government to shut down, but at the same time, we don't want to compromise democracy at the same time. Now, how are they going to hold the government hostage over the prosecution of the orange idiot? They know, we know, everybody knows that anybody that knows anything about what's going on with the orange idiot, we know that he's guilty of whatever. He has four different trials coming up. He has 4 trials coming up. He's been indicted over 91 times. He got 91 charges against him. Nobody gets 91 charges against him who's completely innocent in 4 different cases. And there's still probably more to come. But we're facing this government shutdown because of a weak government when it comes to the Republican Party. The Republican Party are a bunch of idiots. They are a bunch of power-hungry dumbasses, and they will do anything to stay in power, even embarrass themselves, and they will hurt the American people in the process and don't care about hurting the American people. But here's the kicker, though. We got dumbass Americans who are okay with this. And they are the ones being hurt. And these people that supporting these, you know, the Donald Trumps and the Ron DeSantis and the Matt Gaetz and people like that, they are the ones being hurt. And they too stupid to realize that the people that they are clapping and cheering for are the ones that's digging the hole for them. Republican supporters are dumb. These are some stupid ass people. And I'm sure there's got to be a couple Republicans out there that got common damn sense. I'm just not running across them very often too lately. I would love to meet one. I really would. But the government shutdown is going to take place October 1st at 12:01 midnight. And I think the first is, what's today? The 28th. Friday's the 29th. I think 30th, Saturday night, midnight. Government shutting down as it stands right now because we cannot get a bipartisan bill passed through the House, even though the Senate has devised their own bipartisan bill that has got the votes that will keep the government open. But however, a bill that is produced in the Senate, that bipartisan bill got to go through the House. A bill can't stand alone. You can't just pass a bill and then not go through the process. It has three branches of government that every bill has to go through. It has to go through the House, it has to go through the Senate, and it has to go through the office of the president. And if there's any confusion with that, then it goes through. The cases can end up in the Supreme Court with this as well. But this government shutdown is going to be crucial. It is going to be detrimental to our democracy, to our economy, to our well-being. And it's all because the Republicans are dumbasses. Republican lawmakers are just power hungry and they don't care. They don't care. And all you people out there that's supporting this foolishness, you're a bunch of idiots. Just plain and simple. You're a bunch of naive, stupid idiots. You're part of these right-wing MAGA. What did Jim Jeffrey call them? MAGA extremists. But we got to get on track. We got to get on track. We cannot let this shutdown take place. And I'm not sure. Y'all excuse me for a hot second, because I actually jotted something down now, and I'm not sure why I wrote it down. But anyway. But here's the kicker. While our military members, our border patrol members, our TSA people, our people on Social Security would be affected by this government shutdown, the idiots that are causing this shutdown will continue to get paid. They will still receive their paychecks while you suffer, while the average American suffer, while our military personnel suffers. They will still receive a paycheck. And you have people that the ones here's the kicker though. You got the most. There's a lot of smart dumb Republicans. They're smart, but they're dumb as hell. And I don't know what happened with their brain cells to where they fell into this MAGA cult and they became idiots. Even though they're smart people, they're idiots. And they are being led by people who are some of the dumbest people in our government, like Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, McCarthy, Speaker of the House. These are some of the dumbest people and the most idiotic and the most corrupt and the most hypocritical people that ever existed in our government. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, and Lauren Boebert have McCarthy dancing like a puppet. McCarthy is the Speaker of the House. If you don't know who the Speaker of the House is, the Speaker of the House is third in command over this country. Because it goes from the President, the Vice President, and then the Speaker of the House. That's the order. And obviously something would have to happen to the President and the Vice President before the Speaker can take control. And I think the last time that we had we had a Secretary of State back in the day that kind of took control, who claimed he was in control. And that was, for you people younger people, you may not know the name, but Alexander Haig was Secretary of State back when Reagan got shot back in the day. And when Reagan got shot, Alexander Haig, I guess he might have been the only one at the White House or the only one near the podium or what have you. And he stood up there and said, "I'm in control." Even though he went out of order, he stood up and said, "I'm in control." But anyway, I said all that to say this. McCarthy is the next in line behind the Vice President as far as the President being the President. And he is allowing people like Matt Gaetz, the child rapist, Lauren Boebert, the idiot who like to go into theaters and grab dicks and get her tits rubbed and smoke, vape and scream and yell and clap in a play. And then we have Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is completely an imbecile. Those three are running Kevin McCarthy, which is the Speaker of the House. Oh, Jim Jordan is Mr. Larry Pupil said Jim Jordan. Yeah, Jim Jordan has a lot to do with that too. I can't leave him out because Jim Jordan he goes in that group. He's run with that pack because he's an idiot as well. He's a hypocrite, and he's stupid. But they are controlling McCarthy. McCarthy made a lot of concessions when he was making his bid to be speaker. He gave up. He would have gave up his. I don't know if he's married or whatever, but he would have gave up his wife and his kids in order for them to vote for him as speaker. If you don't recall, when they were trying to name a speaker after the Republicans took over the House of Representatives, if I'm not mistaken, it took 13 votes for him to get voted in. 13 or 14 votes. It was a marathon night. The votes went all day, freaking day long. Normally a speaker is voted for and recognized after the first vote. It took 13, 15. Oh, Mr. Pugh said 15 votes. I knew I was somewhere in there. But every time they voted, he had to go and make concessions with another congressman to give up something, give in to their demands on what they wanted in order for him to get their votes. And Matt Gaetz, Lauren Boebert, and Marjorie Taylor Greene were sitting back there that night when they were going through the vote, and they had him back there, and Matt Gaetz cussing him out and all kinds of things or whatever, and he gave like a little punk, he gave in and said, "Okay, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. I'll be your puppet. I'm not going to be a strong leader. I'm going to be your puppet. I'm allow you to pull my strings and tell me to bark, and I'll bark." And now we're in that situation right now. That's why the government is looking at a shutdown, because we have a weak, punk ass Speaker of the House that can't stand up to a child pedophile, a child rapist, sick exhibitionist, and Lauren Boebert, who goes into a play that there's children there and get groped and grabbing dicks and things, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's dumb as a box of wet paper towels. He let these idiots run him. And also Jim Jordan, who's, he's still Jim Jordan he's sitting at the chairman of the Judicial Committee, and he is criticizing people for not answering or coming to testify when he has 500 some odd days that he's been sitting on a subpoena to come testify in the January 6th. He defied a subpoena, but he's been a hypocrite, as all Republicans do. But anyway, but that's where we at. We cannot let this government shut down. We cannot allow this government to shut down peacefully, if you will. And the way that we're going to rectify this situation is to vote. And if you're just joining me, we are talking about the looming government shutdown that's going to happen here in the next day or so, October 1st. The government will shut down if the House does not come up with a bipartisan bill that is going to be something that the Democrats and the Republicans are going to be happy with. And right now they're talking more about a temporary bill than they are talking about a permanent situation. And even if this bill if something comes up and it goes through, it's only going to happen for it's only going to stand for another, I think it's 45 days. But again, the way that we're going to rectify this situation is to vote. Now, I'm making a plea to you and to my black people. I need all people to vote, but especially my black people. I'm begging you. I'm simply begging you. If you are eligible to vote, if you're eligible to register to vote, if you are a convicted felon and you have paid your debt to society and everything has been wiped clean, you need to go and reestablish your rights to vote. But everyone who is eligible, who has the ability to be eligible, you need to vote. You need to register. If you haven't registered, you need to vote. The black vote is so very important. I know we are only a small percentage of the population. We only make up 13% of the population. And in some places and stuff, some states is even less than that. But however, our vote can make a difference. If I can get my black people to come out and vote, you know, it would be a lovely thing to see 100% of eligible voters voting. But I know that's not going to be possible. I'm not going to shoot for expectations that's not going to happen. Unrealistic expectations. Even though I would hope for that to happen, I'm a realist as well. But however, we cannot have 40%, 50% of the black vote. We have got to be in the 80 plus percentile as far as registered voting showing up at the polls. If we can get at least 80% of the black people and the other 20%, you know, you need help. you need to get a grip on life. But if we can get vote in the 80% out of the last election, one of the last elections, I think we got up to mid 50% of the black vote that voted, low 50s, somewhere in there. But that's higher than it's been, but it's still not good enough. That's why we're in the situation that we are in today, because, and I know white people didn't vote too, but white people voted more than black people. But we're in the situation that we're in right now because black people didn't vote. We're in the situation where the Republicans control the House of Representatives because the black vote did not turn out in that 80 percentile. So voting is the key. That way, and at this point, I've never been one to say, you know, you should just vote down party lines. However, over these last, particularly these last going on 8 years now, I've been saying, vote party line. If you're a Democrat, vote down party line. Do not vote for a Republican. And the reason why I say that is because all Republicans have shown me that they are idiots. All Republicans have shown me is that they will go along with anybody who has a conspiracy theory, and that will pass a bill to continue to oppress another race, if you will, another religion. They will go along with that type of stuff. We don't need that in our society today. We need people who are going to be fair across the board. We need people who are going to treat people equally across the board. We don't need another Ron DeSantis in office. Again, Ron DeSantis is trying to take away the black vote. He just lost a bid in the courts in Florida, and I'm jumping around just a little bit, but he just lost a court decision to where he tried to redistrict to where it was taking away a seat that was being held by a black person. So we don't need another DeSantis. We don't need another racist in office. We don't need another Matt Gaetz, who's a racist and a pedophile. We don't need them. We don't need them. And I'm talking Florida people now. We don't need Marco Rubio in office, who is a idiot and will go along with everything that the MAGA extremists put forth. We don't need that. But you got to get out there and vote, people. You have to get out there and vote. Voting is going to be the key. So let's move on. Let's talk about the waste of time that happened in our House today. When I say the House of Representatives, the impeachment inquiry started. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Republicans have launched a impeachment inquiry against Joe Biden. One, they did not go in the proper order to do it. You need to vote in order to bring the impeachment process. So they didn't have the votes. They don't have the evidence. So they call it an impeachment inquiry. But the hearing took place today. 6 hours. 6 hours of nothing. 6 hours of wasted time where our government is looking at shutting down, and we wasted 6 hours of our government's time on nothing. Usually when if there's an impeachment, we know that there's only been a few impeachments that happened along the way within our lifetime, or my lifetime, if you will. We can go back to Nixon, who wasn't impeached because he decided to leave office before he was impeached. And then we had Clinton, who was impeached for getting a blowjob. And then fast forward to Trump, who was impeached twice. So it's not like we deal with a whole lot of impeachments. The impeachments are situations where it's deemed that someone has done something to go against what the Constitution and the American people expect out of their government. That's when you have impeachments. But the Republicans do not have any type of evidence that Joe Biden has done anything wrong. They have no evidence to prove any of the conspiracy theories that they have. But because Kevin McCarthy, the Speaker of the House, is a bitch, he's a puppet. And even in his own word, he said that the impeachment inquiry is, you can't have an impeachment inquiry if there's no evidence. He said it in his own words. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene grabbed one nut. Matt Gaetz grabbed his other nut, and Lauren Boebert stuck her finger in his behind. And then he changed his mind and said, okay, we can do the impeachment inquiry, even though we don't have any evidence. But 6 hours, and I watched some of it today. I watched a good bit of it today. And what's funny about it is that the only network the only major network that carried the hearing was Fox News. And the reason why that's funny is because Fox News did not carry the impeachment hearings of Donald Trump, the first impeachment or the second impeachment. They did not carry that live. When there was evidence that the orange idiot had done something illegal, if you will. When there was evidence, they didn't cover it. But they covered this one when there's no evidence at all. But these Republicans, they brought 4 witnesses, and these witnesses did not. They were there for no reason, because most of the hearing, they sat and listened to the speeches of the Republicans who is supposed to have been asking questions. They just sat and listened to their speeches. And then when they did ask questions, they said, well, there's no evidence. Mr. Pugh put another comment in the comment section. He said, because Trump wanted Joe Biden to have an impeachment. Yes, Donald Trump called for Joe Biden for them to look into an impeachment. And actually, even though Trump don't even know how government works or whatever, he was trying to tie the impeachment inquiry into the government shutdown. So Trump spoke. Matt Gaetz grabbed one of McCarthy's balls. Marjorie Taylor Greene grabbed the other one. Lauren Boebert stuck her finger in his ass, and he said, okay, we can do the impeachment inquiry with no freaking evidence. And during this hearing, they kept saying, well, if this happened, then that could have happened. And if this took place, and if he did that, and, hypothetically this and hypothetically that, but they had no evidence. And then it's sad because it's like they stopped asking their witnesses questions, because the witnesses have said that these are their witnesses. And the witnesses have said that there's no evidence to support an impeachment. And the things that they talked about, is Hunter Biden is the topic. And all this supposedly took place when Biden was the vice president. None of this supposedly took place while he is in office as president today. They're going back to when he was vice president under Barack Obama. And they're trying to impeach a president for something that they made up and don't have any evidence for when he was not the president. That makes no sense in itself. This is how stupid Republicans are. They don't care. But instead of working on keeping the government running, keeping our military paid, they are in a they spend 6 hours plus of the day on a impeachment inquiry with no evidence. And then it really shocked me when a few of the senators, I mean the congressmen there, kept talking about, well, Biden lied about this. And then the one of them threw out a number. And when he threw out a number, I almost fell out my chair. He was talking about the situation where Biden was asked about if he had business, if he helped Hunter Biden in his business dealings. And this man said Biden lied 17 times. Let me tell you why I find that so comical. He was like, Biden lied 17 times. Trump was in office for 4 years. And this is not counting prior to him being in office and not counting after he left office. The orange idiot was in office 4 years. And according to fact checkers, and this is just documented fact checkers, according to fact checkers, in the 4 years that the orange idiot was in office, he made 30,573 false statements, false or misleading statements. This one idiot said in this committee hearing, well, Joe Biden lied 17 times. But we didn't say a word about the 30,573 lies that Trump told while he was in office. Yeah, 30,573 documented lies while Trump was in office. When he said that, I almost fell out my seat. But with the Republicans are the biggest threat to our democracy. The stupidity level, the hypocrisy that they have, the revenge, just the element of a revenge that they want against Democrats is unreal. And it's a cult-like mentality over there now. They're not even a party anymore. It's a cult. It's not even a party anymore. But they are the biggest threat to our democracy, and we have to do something to get these idiots out of office. And another thing I found very, very comical, Fox News is the only one that carried this hearing live. It may have been on C-SPAN, but I didn't go to C-SPAN to see if it was on C-SPAN. But Fox News carried it live. MSNBC didn't carry it live. CNN didn't carry it. ABC, CBS, NBC, none of them carried it live, but Fox News carried it live. And what I find interesting is, Fox, I don't agree with a lot of things Fox News, well, I don't agree with just about anything Fox News says. But the commentator, because it was on Fox Business, is where it was live on, Fox Business. And I think the guy's name is Caputo. If I could be wrong. But anyway, right after the hearing ended, this guy came on and he said he watched the hearing, and this is Fox News saying this. Fox News said that no evidence was presented. He said they gave a lot of hypotheticals and a lot of what ifs, but they didn't present any evidence. And they said that the witnesses that they had no knowledge of the situation. He didn't understand why those witnesses was there. They had no knowledge, no direct knowledge of the situation. They weren't attached to the Hunter Biden situation. They're not attached to that at all. So why were they there? That was my question. Why are you there? He made the comment. He said, normally when you got smoke, there's fire. He said, but you just created more smoke. There's no fire. And this is Fox News. So if Fox News is saying you don't have any evidence when it comes to anything against Joe Biden, if Fox News saying you don't have any evidence, you really don't have any evidence. And Mr. Pugh said Fox has 787 million reasons to tell the true story. Yeah, because Dominion got in them. Dominion, if you know Dominion is a company that makes these voting machines, and Dominion sued them, so that Fox got to pay Dominion. And there's another company that's they getting ready to go to trial for, so it looks like they're going to get a double whammy. So it's like Fox News, they can't just blatantly lie anymore, because hopefully this next suit will wipe them off the face of the earth. Hopefully this next suit that Fox have, and I forget the name of the company. Dominion is the one I think that just won against them. But the other company that make the voting machine they're suing them as well. So hopefully with this next suit, they bankrupt them and they just go away. And I know we got, the other station like Newsmax and those idiots over there or whatever. But, but anyway. Well, I tell you, this hour has flown by. But the government shut down. We cannot let it happen. We cannot allow the Republicans to gain any more control. We have to get out and vote. Black people, we have to get out and vote. We got to stop making excuses. We got to stop saying our vote don't count. And that got to stop saying it don't matter. My vote is only one vote. Your vote counts. That's why we are in the situation that we are in, because black people don't believe that fat meat is greasy. That's an old term they used to say back in the day. Your vote counts. Get registered. Get out and vote. And for all you newcomers, all you youngsters that's coming up, once you go and get your license, even though you may not be 18 yet, you can go ahead and register to vote when you get your driver's license. You can register. You can't vote until you're 18, but at 16 you can register. So when you go get your driver's license, make sure you put down that you want to register to vote as well. So, but anyway, it's time for me to get out of here. I think I got to make way for the next show to come up here on WPMM. It's been a pleasure having you today. It's been a good show. Hopefully it's, we learned something today in regards to this government and what they're trying to do to us, especially particularly as black people, black and brown people. This government is not for us. So we have to get these idiots out of office and put the ones in that's going to look out for us. So, but I will be back on Monday. We'll be back on Monday. Make sure you have a good weekend, safe weekend. Be responsible. Don't do anything stupid, because I want to see you back here. Also, if you go out and have a good time this weekend, a tow truck and an Uber is cheaper than a DUI. So don't get caught up in the DUI and you got $12,000, $13,000 on the DUI, plus being at risk of being locked up, when you could have called an Uber and spent that $17, or call a tow truck and spent $35 to get home. Be responsible, be smart, be safe, people. So, but anyway, I will be back Monday, 6 o'clock p.m. right here on WPMM Internet Radio and Facebook Live. Make sure you join me. Thank you so very much for listening to the show. I really do appreciate you supporting the show. And tell a friend and tell a friend, tell a friend that I'm on 6 o'clock. Make sure they tune in, because we are here to inspire, uplift, and educate right here on The Truth with G. You guys be safe, be blessed, and I am out of here.